Volvo have always been known for making safe cars. Throughout the company's history, they have pioneered safety technology, and their cars still have innovative features prioritising the safety of pedestrians and passengers. But how did this brand image develop, and are they still industry leaders in crash tests? This is the story of Volvo's safety innovations. Volvo were founded with safety as a core principle in 1927. The founders Asat Gabrielson and Gustav Larsson said in the year of its founding, "Cars are driven by people." The guiding principle behind everything we make at Volvo, therefore, is and must remain safety. It is clear that safety was a key ethos for the Swedish brand from the beginning, although it would take a while for their first major safety innovation to be developed. The first real safety features in Volvos came in 1944 with the release of the PV444. It had a safety cage for more protection on a crash, as well as laminated glass. This type of glass contains 2 or more layers with interlayers in between. It breaks the glass into smaller, less sharp pieces and means there is less chance of a passenger or pedestrian being cut by the glass in the event of a crash. However, Volvo's main claim to fame in the safety world is the invention of the modern seatbelt. Development of this began by a company named Vattenfall, a Swedish power company. Fatal car accidents were rising during the 1950s, and the company spoke to Volvo and Saab, 2 Swedish manufacturers, about the possibility of seatbelts, although the automotive industry felt seatbelts would make people consider cars unsafe. The company decided to develop a seatbelt anyway, and they created the first diagonal seatbelt. Their new belt was presented to Volvo, and the development of the now compulsory 3-point safety belt began. Engineer Niels Bolin invented and patented it, and it became standard on all Volvos in 1959, although only initially on the front seats. For the benefit of everyone, the patent was made open, meaning other manufacturers could use a 3-point belt in their cars for free, when Volvo could have put it behind a paywall or refused to let other companies use it to make themselves look safer. This is when the reputation of safety began for Volvo, and the seatbelt is estimated to have saved over 1 million lives since its invention. In 1964, Volvo began developing the first rear-facing child seat. They were developed with the principle of spreading the load during an impact and minimizing injury, and this was one of the first child-focused safety innovations in the motoring industry. It was first used in production in 1972. In 1966, Volvo first used front and rear crumple zones on their cars. Used to absorb energy in a crash, it forms a buffer around the driver and passengers and means that the deceleration is less. This decreases the impact force and means that the occupants of the car are subject to smaller forces than without the zone. Now mandatory, they were created by Mercedes and first used by the German brand in 1959. In 1972, Volvo would implement the 3-point belt in the outer rear seats, as well to better protect rear passengers in case of a crash. However, it would take until 1991 for the middle seat to get a 3-point belt as well. The first booster cushion for children was made by Volvo in 1978. It meant children were better protected in a crash as they were better positioned for the seatbelt. In 1990, Volvo revealed an integrated child safety cushion in the rear seats. It increased safety like a conventional booster seat, but meant that no additional seat was required, and this reduced the hassle for parents. It could be used in the outer 2 rear seats from 1995, which could fold up and backwards to raise the child, or in the middle seat, where it could fold down. In 1991, the side impact protection system came into use. A part of the car's design has a strong structure with energy absorbing materials, a cross member on the floor, and reinforced seats. They would follow that up with the first side impact airbags in 1994. The airbag was integrated into the backrest of the seats, which protected the chest in an impact from the side. From 1998, Volvos would have roof-mounted inflatable Curtain side airbags, which inflated across the side of the car in the case of a crash at the side of it. These were revolutionary in changing car safety. However, it wasn't all positive, as in 1995, the Volvo 745 was recalled as the front seatbelt mounts could break in an accident. This meant passengers were not restrained properly in a crash, leading to obvious safety issues. In 1997, the rollover protection system was introduced on the C70. It had metal arches that came up from behind the seats to protect occupants' heads if the car rolled over. A stiffened chassis was also used to reduce body roll and thus limit the likelihood of rolling. 1998 saw two big technologies implemented by the Swedish brand. The whiplash protection system provided support and energy absorption in a rear-end collision due to the seat being able to better restrain the head. It halved the risk of long-term medical problems, as whiplash is the most common injury from car crashes. The second innovation was the inflatable curtain airbag, as previously mentioned. 2002 saw the rollover protection system being implemented on the XC90, as SUVs having higher centres of gravity meant they were more likely to tip over. Volvo used a stability control system specifically designed to prevent rolling, as well as a design to make it safer in the event of it rolling. The 2003 blind spot information system used radar and cameras to check the car's blind spot. It would then show a warning light if a car came into the blind spot to make sure the driver was aware and wouldn't change lanes into another car. The collision warning with auto brake began in the 2007 S80. Using a camera at the front of the car, it would provide a warning and pre-charge the brakes to maximise braking performance. 2007 would see plenty more features on Volvos. The driver alert control checked the drowsiness of the driver and alerted them when it felt they were becoming tired. There was also a lane departure warning and a distance alert, which monitored the distance between the Volvo and the car in front and alerted the driver if it became too small. The 2008 city safety feature was first seen on the XC60. It was an autonomous emergency braking system. It used laser detection and reduced the risk of collisions at up to 30 km per hour. Similarly, the pedestrian detection system could automatically brake when it detected someone crossing the road ahead. The V40 had the first ever pedestrian airbag, which covered the A-pillars and the lower windscreen to protect pedestrians in a crash. It worked, with the V40 scoring the highest safety score at the time in the Euro NCAP pedestrian safety tests. 2012 saw the lane keeping aid introduced, which steered the car back into the lane if it were drifting across. The road sign information feature also scanned road signs and displayed them on the dash to help the driver. The 2013 cyclist detection system warns drivers about cyclists ahead and automatically braked if it sensed a collision with a rider. The 2015 IntelliSafe feature would stop the car if it were about to turn in front of an oncoming car at an intersection. The connected safety feature was ahead of its time in 2016, with Volvo using the cloud to share data between vehicles and alert the driver about slippery sections or broken down vehicles. In 2018, one of the most important safety features on Volvos was implemented. The system detected vehicles oncoming in the car's lane and would try to steer out of the way, or at least reduce the speed to try and lessen the force of the impact. In 2020, all Volvos were capped to a top speed of 180 km an hour, or just over 110 miles per hour, to send a clear message about speeding. However, in the same year, Volvo had to recall over 121,000 vehicles over a failure within the auto emergency braking system. Vehicles weren't detecting some objects in front, and this led to increased crashes. So, do any of these innovations contribute to improved safety? The answer is yes. Volvo have had some of the best crash test results consistently and are at the top of the ratings. In 2021, they had 11 models with 5-star safety ratings from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Whilst they have slipped out of the top spots for safety in the Euro NCAP ratings, this is because many of their models have not been tested in a while, but when they are updated, they will likely return to the upper end of the crash safety rankings. The safety of their vehicles may not actually be much higher than that of brands like BMW, Mercedes-Benz and Volkswagen, but their reputation has always been based on reliability and safety. The so-called Volvo tanks contributed to this, but it is testament to Volvo's repeated innovation and drive to make vehicles safer for occupants, pedestrians and cyclists that they will forever be known as the safest car brand.